So today is very exciting. Today I'm having a look at the Vive Focus 3. I'm actually very excited to have a look at this today. I've had this, I've wanted to look at this for quite some time. It's been around for a little while now, but I'm still very excited to have a look at it because it's really neat. I always enjoy seeing new headsets. Let's go ahead. I'm really excited to have a look at this. Let's start out actually, because they did also send me this little streaming cable. So let's actually start out with that. Let me move this off to the side because this should be interesting. I think I'm gonna need to grab a knife to cut this open. Hold on. So this is the streaming cable. So I think I'm gonna need to cut this open. Box looks pretty standard. I'm not seeing anything of note about the cable itself. It does simply look like a Type-C to Type-C cable. It kind of reminds me of something that you kind of see with like a Quest. I'm assuming it just streams straight over Type-C like the Quest does. So I mean, that's always pretty interesting. I've had Type-C cables like this before. I think most, if not all of them, have died. So I'm curious if this one's actually going to last any longer than any of the ones that I've owned before. I think my longest lasting one was actually from Anchor, if I recall. I think that's the company that made the one that I still have. But let's see here. This one does definitely look a little bit longer though. Yeah, I mean, it's a standard Type-C cable. I'm not noticing, at least just looking at it, anything noticeably different. Yeah, it's just a standard Type-C cable. There's obviously not a lot specifically to say about this. I mean, Type-C, it's a pretty common standard now. Like I said, you see this with like the Quest 2. It is definitely a pretty long cable though, I will say that. Does it say how long it is specifically? I did find a length for it. 5 meters long, I believe. I don't remember what that is in feet, but 5 meters long, that's a pretty decent length. You're definitely going to be able to, this is definitely something that you could hook up to your PC and still have quite a bit of length left over. To be honest, I don't know if it's quite as long as I personally would prefer. I know I use an extension cable for like my index, for example. I like having a little bit of extra length, just a little bit of extra slack in case, because I have pulled on my computer before and I've always been afraid of accidentally pulling it off of a desk, or even if I pull it across the floor, I've been concerned that it'll just tip over and I just end up damaging something. So, but yeah, I mean, even still, this is obviously a really good length. If you're sitting like at your desk just doing some work, this is obviously more than perfect for something like that. This would probably even be perfect for just typical gaming and things like that. So this is the streaming cable. So this is supposed to allow for us to stream from computer to the headset itself. All right, so there was the cable itself. So now let's actually have a look at what I'm actually more interested in, the Vive Focus 3. So this is technically considered business class, if I recall. This is considered a business class headset. I've never worked with one that's specifically advertised for business class, so I'm actually not entirely sure what the difference is between this and something standard like you would get with, say, like the Vive Pro or something like that. So I'm actually really curious. This is a standalone headset, which is really interesting. I'm trying to see because I think I saw the specs on here earlier. I did. Oh no, this is just what's in the box. So in here, we're supposed to have the Focus 3 itself, AC adapter, 2 controllers, splitter cable for charging, and then the battery. So I don't remember off the top of my head, but I'm assuming it has a detachable battery based off of that. So, oh, actually I can slide that right off. That's actually really easy to slide off. They have like a little indent that you can use to take off the cover, but I guess it just comes right off, which is perfectly fine as well. And then yeah, then we have the box itself, standard. We just have the Vive logo and then some tape to get this open. Oh man, that looks really, really nice. So let's see here. We got vive.com/setup/focus3. So it looks like we have to focus through perhaps an app, which I would expect. I guess I do need some scissors to get that open. Let's start with whatever this is. Scissors. I need a knife. This looks like it may just be a manual. It is a very thick manual. Two very thick manuals. Safety and regulatory guide, and then we have the quick start guide. I don't know if I'm going to need that. I hope I don't. It does look though that we do need to hook it up through an app. Let's see here. So we've also got charging cable. So we got our adapter there. We got anything else in there? Looks like it's all empty. What is this? Oh, we have a like a lens cleaner. I don't think I necessarily need that. I'm just gonna leave that in there. Let's see, what else we got? We got the controller itself. So this is actually a pretty big controller, it looks like. This kind of reminds me of the Quest 2 in a sense, except a little bit bulkier, I'd kind of say. Or I guess not bulkier, but like longer. We'll have a closer look at that in a second. And we do also have Type-C chargers on the bottom for that. And then we also have here, this does all feel very light too. It occurs to me, I'm crumpling up plastic right next to my mic. That probably doesn't sound great. Then we also have the headset. This feels actually pretty light. This doesn't feel very heavy. Yeah, that feels very light. Well, again, we'll have a closer look at that in a second. I'm running out of room here on my table. And then this looks like the last box. What do we have in here? Probably batteries. Or maybe a battery. Yeah, it looks like just a singular battery. So let me go and, yeah, there we go. So yes, so here we have our headset itself. Like I said, this feels very light. I'd say this might even be lighter than the Quest 2. I kind of want to... I also don't have the battery in it too. I should probably say that too. I don't yet have the battery in it. I was going to be very surprised if it was just overall this light. So let's go ahead and see. So it looks like we take off our back piece here. So this kind of presses up against the back of our head. Doesn't look like there's anything special about that. I'm not entirely sure how that was held in place. Maybe magnets. And then it looks like we just pop in this battery, which looks like it goes in a little something like that. We actually have some connectors here on the back of the headset. I've never had one that has the battery mounted on the back like this. I've heard it's supposed to be really good for just helping everything feel very balanced. So let's see, does it just pop in? I'm very afraid of breaking this, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, yeah, I guess that does go in a lot easier than I expected to. I was a little bit worried there for a second. It looked like it may have had to slid in some way. But I guess no, I guess it just goes straight on there. And then it looks like this just goes straight back on. I don't have this upside down, do I? I did notice there was an arrow on the back, and I don't know if that's meant to show which way it's meant to go on. Yes, it does. Okay, so there is actually an arrow on the back. So the arrow points up. You can actually hopefully kind of see that. There's like a little arrow that points up. And then once we have the battery in, we actually have the AC connector here to actually hook in our battery, because that actually wasn't there before. I was actually curious because I did see that hole. So that's actually how we hook into the battery. So I actually kind of like that design because it seems to imply that we could have multiple batteries, charge them all up in some, like we could have like 5 batteries, charge them all up, and then we just trade them out in the headsets whenever we want to. But I wonder too if we can also use this while it's in use as well. Oh, cool. And then we also have the charging indicator. This has 3 lights out of 4, so roughly 75%-ish. Yeah, and then, ooh. So we do also have this little warning label. I feel like this is pretty self-explanatory, at least to most people who've owned a VR headset. Don't keep in direct sunlight. Don't let sharp objects scratch it. Yeah, we also have like I believe it's referred to as the halo design, if I recall. I will say that does not feel very sturdy. This whole design is like a very soft plastic, it feels like. It's not the sturdiest design I've seen, but this is very, very light, which I do like. I need to figure out how to turn this on though. Okay, so it does look like I do need to have the app open in order for this to work at all. I did also notice too, it did mention the splitter cable, which I don't remember seeing in the box, so I think I may have missed that, but it looks like you're supposed to use that to hook up the controllers themselves. So I think I may have to dig back in the box to see if I can find that. All right, so I did find the cable here that's meant to be used to plug in our controllers. I'm assuming you could probably just use any Type-C connector. If I'm honest, you probably don't need to plug it into the headset like this, but this is what it told me to do, so this is what I'm doing. Let's see. In addition, I'm also trying to see if I could get the app itself to work. The app seems to be a little bit buggy, if I'm honest. It just doesn't seem to be working very well. It's now disconnected from the headset twice, and I have no earthly idea why. Let me see. Oh, wait, maybe it's actually doing something now. Okay, so the app itself, actually I can't tell if it's the app or the headset, but either one is very, very buggy. I've just started this update for like the third time now. I don't know if this update's actually needed or if there's something else going on here. The headset itself just keeps telling me to configure it in the Vive Manager app, and that doesn't seem to be working, at least not properly. These controllers are actually not very sturdy there. They actually get knocked back very easily, which is a little bit disappointing. Anyways, while that's hopefully updating, we'll find out here in a second. Let's have a look at the headset itself. So here on the headset itself, we have for the strap control, the strap length, we have two different ways of handling this. So we have like an actual dial here, so you can kind of use that to just kind of move forward and back the strap back here. This little button seems to do the exact same thing. Personally, I don't know that I like this as much. I think I kind of like the dial a little bit more. In addition, we also have on either side here some audio, some headphone grills, audio grills. Here on either side, speaker grills. I went through too many words there all at one point. You kind of get the idea. That's where the audio comes from, it looks like. Let's see, moving up to the front here, we have 4 cameras, one on each corner here, as you can see. We also have on the front here, actually it's a little bit on the front, a little bit on the bottom. This little tab here comes up, and then we're left with like a little Type-C port. Not entirely sure what that's meant for. I could see it being used for something like a facial tracker. I'm not sure if that's what it's meant for, because we also have a Type-C connector over here on the side as well. However, I've seen in pictures, it looks like this is meant for controllers and maybe for the high-speed PC connection to get the PC quality out of it. So I'm not 100% sure if there's like a difference between these two or not. So I may have to experiment with that and see for myself. We also have on the bottom what I can only assume is a volume knob. I'm not 100% sure about this, but we do have knobs on either side, little buttons on either side that we can press. So I'm assuming that's volume. We also have here, this is a Ipd adjustment. So actually, let me go and pull this off and I can show you a little bit better. This is just attached by magnets. It feels like there's 4 of them, and I think I may see them. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's just a very simple, you just snap it on. The Ipd adjustment is just a little scroll. So you just kind of scroll that back and forth. I do like the adjustment there. I like that adjustment a lot better than just snapping it back and forth personally. Okay. And then we also have here on the side, we have what looks like a micro SD card. According to the Vive specs, it says it can support up to a 2 terabyte micro SD card. There we go. And then health and safety guide. It looks like it's going to force me to watch this all the way through. So obviously, as you can see, something about audio. Okay, so that does look like it's an audio dial on the bottom left, that little dial I'd shown. I guess they don't want you to become too immersed, but immersed enough. Don't become motion sick, I guess, and have someone else take it off for you. Anyways, there's a whole bunch of stuff there. I'm not entirely sure what all that guide was meant to be, but okay. All right, and then we're just kind of left with the Vive Business App Store. Like I said, I don't know what specifically makes this business class. There are an awful lot of apps here. I may have to have a look at that here in a second. So let's actually give this headset itself a shot and see exactly what this all looks like. Oh yeah. Oh, this feels so great for glasses. This is the best experience I think I've ever had for glasses. This is excellent. Like, I don't feel it pressing in on my sides. It's not in a position where it's going to push down on my ears, because I've had pain there because it pushes down into my ears. And it doesn't feel like it's going to scratch up my glasses. Like, it doesn't feel like it's going to, like it would press up against each other. I will say the pass-through is a little bit disorienting. It feels like it's a little bit zoomed in, perhaps, which is a little bit weird. Oh, that feels actually a little bit better. It does still feel like weirdly zoomed in. It doesn't feel like like I'm seeing everything exactly like I should. Let's see. Adjust the volume. Okay, so we have like a little clicking noise that happens every time I adjust the volume. I'll leave it about medium volume, I guess, for now. Okay, so there you go. Yeah, it honestly, it feels fine. I'm not overly fond of it. Next, we have the Ipd adjustment, which I think is probably screwed up for me. Let's see, what else?
Let's set up your environment.
Oh, we now have a voice assistant. Press and hold the trigger button to skip the video. I'm going to go and skip it because I have no idea what this is. They like break down every little bit of this. I'm not gonna lie, this is a little bit obnoxious. Oh wait, there's a skip tutorial option. I'm skipping the tutorial. Okay. Oh, so this supports hand tracking too. Actually, it says developer. I wonder if that means that that's experimental. High performance, enabled to boost system performance, and that's enabled by default. So by default, we have Vive Sync, we have a tutorial, Vive Business Streaming, and Firefox Reality. So that's not bad. And then we have a whole app store here. I still don't see any way for me to stream what I'm seeing, which is unfortunate. I would have really liked to. So overall, I think that this is a fantastic headset. I'm actually really excited to be able to use this a little bit more. Overall, there's probably only two things that for me personally, I just don't like. The first one is that just feels a little bit too wobbly to me. I mean, obviously, once you have your head in the middle, it's not going to become as wobbly. It just doesn't feel as sturdy as it should be. Also, it kind of starts sliding down just a little bit if you just kind of angle it wrong, like that. It just doesn't feel like the sturdiest headset. It's not a bad headset, like I said. It just doesn't feel like the sturdiest headset I have ever seen. The other thing too is, personally, I don't know how much I like this. I think it's mostly this cushiony thing in the back. I feel like I just don't like the shape of it. It just kind of feels a little bit more like it's pressing more into the middle of my head. I'd prefer something that comes in a little bit closer on the sides. But I think that honestly makes it also a very good headset. It feels like it's a little bit, like I have a little bit more space on either side. So like I said, I had no problems wearing my glasses with this. Like, it feels like it's made for my glasses to fit perfectly fine. And my glasses aren't going to like press down my ears like I experience with a lot of headsets. It just feels overall very comfortable. It's just this cushiony part I don't like. Everything else about it feels fantastic though. I was also looking too, because I was a little curious what makes this business specific. And honestly, it more just looks like that's their focus with this headset. It looks like it could run games. They do also have a lot of things that seem a little bit more business specific. Not all things that I'm specifically familiar with, such as business training. Engage I have heard of. That one I'm pretty certain is business if I recall. Immersed is actually a really good one. I like Immersed. Vive Sync, if I recall, is meant to be more of a business app as well. I believe it's more of like a business meetup app thing, if I recall. vSpatial, but like I said, they have a bunch of games too. It doesn't feel like it's as large of a library in terms of games. It feels like it's more business stuff, but you do definitely see like games and stuff in there as well. So overall, I like this headset. I'm really looking forward to being able to work with this a little bit more. I'm very excited to. I'm really excited too. So anyways, yeah, that's the Vive Focus 3. Let me know what you guys think down below. Is this a headset you guys have any experience with? Have you guys seen this headset, and is it something that intrigues you guys as well? Let me know down in the comments, and while you're down there, consider hitting that like and subscribe button too. And with that, I'll see you in the next reality.